Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we will be doing a flip through of February in my HOBONICHI TECHO cousin AVEC. So if you want to see what happened in February and how I decorated my HOBONICHI, stay with me. So first of all, we will have a look at the monthly section. So a lot of things happened in February. It was Lunar New Year, Valentine's Day, NaNoWriMo, which is International Correspondence Writing Month. And we had a lot of weather and there was a lot of worldwide things happening. So the monthlies I kind of just use for events or appointments. Any days I might work that might be different to my usual days, and then anything that I need to know that may be important that I might need to look back on. So my son was a close contact at kindy. Because he's under 5, he was okay to continue going to kindy, so we were just told to be aware. If there are any symptoms, obviously we would then have to self-isolate, otherwise life went on, and he was fine. He didn't catch COVID at that point. And then I just made a note here, we wore pink to work for Valentine's Day because we did some cute like Valentine's Day videos, and my husband sent yellow flowers, so I just drew some yellow flowers in there. And I just made some other global notes in a different colored ink so it would stand out. So let's get into the weeklies now. This one, as you'll see, I do cross stuff off, as you can see here, in January as well. The monthlies are like my dump all, so it doesn't really matter to me whether things get crossed off, arrowed, moved. This is just a place for me to be able to go quickly and look. So February in my weeklies, I kept the same layout I had been using in January. So I had my mail out on the side here, my step tracker, mail in was either in amongst the day or along the bottom. So Tuesdays are kind of like my to-do day, so I had a lot of to-dos there. Kept my dinners in here. And just any other kind of things I needed to know or things I wanted to do, I would go in there and put in later on. So I did decorate the Lunar New Year day with a piece of an offcut from an Australia Post mini sheet. I don't celebrate Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, but being in the journaling, pen paling and the postage stamp community, Lunar New Year is a big deal, so I've been really enjoying decorating with the Australia Post mini sheets. You'll see as we go along, but there's some really beautiful extra decoration that I love to include in my journals, so I do really enjoy journaling about that and just making note of the stamps, etc. for the Lunar New Year. So that's why that is pink there, and the rest is a gold washi tape. And then I just decorated with some washi tape stickers and some stickers up here from Papershire. This is the second week of February. So same thing, I just kind of kept track of. This day I had like mail nearly every day, which was really fun. But this one I just got mail twice. I've also been enjoying kind of writing big things that take up big chunks of the day sideways. And making it big writing, so you'll see that more as we go along. A big to-do list for Tuesday again. Valentine's Day week, so I just used up a very old HOBONICHI Weeks sticker sheet, I think. So that's why these boxes are quite small. But I mean, that was fun to kind of use that up because you can only really use it for one week of the year. So this one down here, mail in, instead of writing mail in every day, I just put a strip of Tombow color and just wrote mail in so I could make a list underneath. And this week kind of started off okay, and then just from like the Wednesday onwards, like stuff was happening. So hence the rain clouds, not only because was it tumultuous in life, but the weather was, it literally rained non-stop for days. So I actually had to go stay at my parents on this day because I wasn't sure if we're going to get flooded in. And then I also stayed at my parents on the Thursday night. Yep. Stressed, as you can see. And then I went back home on the Friday, but Gympie, which is 4 hours north, 4 hours? 2.5, 3 hours north of me, went underwater. And it rained all weekend, and then a lot of stuff happened on the Monday. The last day of February was very, very stressful and traumatic, so we will get into that. But this then goes into March, which we'll talk in the next flip through. So we'll go into the weeklies, the dailies here. And we'll talk a bit more about what's been going on. But I love this page. So this is the mini sheet from Australia Post I was talking about earlier, and this up here. So there was like the 3 stamps in there, and then I've just cut out this extra piece of decoration and I put it in my journal. I did that last year for the Year of the Ox, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I've decided I'm going to do that every year because it's just really fun, and I don't want to just throw this away because it's too pretty. And I have actually used mini sheets for, like, I've cut this guy out and used him for decoration on mail art as well. But it's just really pretty, and it's like foiled. And then these stamps are part of the gutter strips excuse me, for Oz Post as well. So, and then I've just used some washi tape dots, and it's just so fun to decorate. And then this is the cover page for February, and I never really know what to do with these. Like in January, sorry, I've got something stuck in my throat. In January, I just kind of like used it as extra because a lot happened on the 1st of January for us. This time I decided to use it for my NaNoWriMo tracker. In a perfect world, there would have been a person's name written on every day, but I did 2 postcards the first day, and then I did nothing for like nearly 2 weeks. So I failed at NaNoWriMo this year. Last year I did do a lot better. I'd kind of got halfway through, and then I did every other day, but yeah, I had plans and I obviously just didn't even think about it. So that's okay, it happens, but I really liked decorating it with the pink and the red that matched in with this and the gold. This is some tissue paper and some a bird I got from my order from Mel Molly Creations. I purchased some bird cutouts from her, and then this is just it's very shiny. It's just a little vinyl sticker from Cooper's Calligraphy. I'm part of her Patreon. And then the second Patreon I'm a part of is Salvage Patreon, and randomly my November Patreon turned up this day on the 2nd of March. So I'd already had this cut out waiting to use it at some stage. This was a printable from the Salvage Patreon, but I just thought it matched perfectly with this pie. I think the November one was like either autumn or Thanksgiving vibe, like Thanksgiving. It was like that whole vibe anyways, because it was just all pies, which is not really a big thing here in Australia, but it's fun. It's fun. This is just some other examples of what I might use my Hobonichi for. Generally, I journal, and if I don't know what to journal about, generally I will kind of try to pick a journaling prompt. But I want to do a garage sale, so I was kind of trying to figure out what I could put in the garage sale to see if I had enough stuff to do a garage sale. So I do. I still want to. It will probably happen in May, to be honest. We've got, well, there's been a lot happening, as you will see, and then next week is Easter, and then the weekend after that is Anzac Day long weekend, and then the weekend after that is Labor Day long weekend. So we've got 3 long weekends in a row coming up, and I don't really want to do a garage sale on a long weekend because I'm assuming people will be going away and camping. So it will probably happen in May. We'll see. It could even happen in June because I plan to go to Adelaide in May. So stay tuned. So yeah, that was just another example of what I might use the Hobonichi for. And then I can go back. I've actually put my slants in here. So if there is anything that I include in the garage sale, I can just cross it off. And then this was the day that we got notified that my son was a close contact at kindy, so I just noted that down and just wrote how I was feeling about that. Yep, bad day, bad drawing. Let's move on. This day was a bit better. Went to work, which I love work. I need to go to work for my mental health, to get out. Work is my me time. Work gives me purpose, and I love my job. So work was good. Came home, had a nap, picked the boys up early from kindy, and we went down to the beach. So feeling better, which is good. This day was just all writing. I have just put a post-it note on there because it's got some more personal details and prices, but we were doing some research on selling our unit this day, so I've just written about that and what our findings were and what we think we might do. This day I got an order from Louise of coffee tea paper. Hi Louise. And she always decorates them really cute, and she always uses like coffee washi because it's coffee tea paper. So I just decorated with all the freebie stuff and the bits off the envelopes. There's her stamp. This day I was really confused. I got a massive parcel. Didn't know why. I had nothing on order, but it was actually from one of my pen pals, Jess, and it was a belated Christmas gift, and oh my goodness, it was crazy. There was wax seals, wax beads, washi tapes, and a card, and some beautifully gift wrapped writing paper. And Jess, you spoil me way, way, way too much. I adore it, but you spoil me. And it was just a really lovely surprise to come home from work and be, what is this? And just, yeah, all the tissue paper and the confetti, and it was amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The Friday, my husband came home from Adelaide where he's working, and we already had a games night with my cousins planned. A lot of my cousins came up from interstate, and one of my cousins from England has finally made it to Australia since the borders have reopened to international travel. And we had a board game night planned. So we were just going to drive up there and have like 1 or 2 drinks each, play some board games and come home. But our hot water system broke that night. So what do you do when your hot water system breaks? You book into the casino. So my husband and I had a little last minute getaway. We booked the room at like 2:30 in the afternoon. And we just went and dropped, my sons were already staying at my parents' house because we didn't know how long we were going to be out. So we just had an impromptu night away, and it was just so lovely. Like, we went up there pretty much straight away. I think we got there at like 3:30 and we only booked at 2:30, and we just chilled out and yeah, had some dinner, and then we just went 4 minutes down the road in an Uber because that's where my cousins were staying on the beachfront, and yeah, we just played board games until midnight and went back. And it was so lovely to not have to travel half an hour back to our place, but only 4 minutes back to the casino. So yeah, spontaneity is a good thing, and it just refreshes your mindset and your just your whole being. Like, it was just so refreshing to be in a different environment. So anyways, we played this game called Werewolves of Miller's Hollow. I'd never heard about it before, and I was a bit skeptical, but it was actually really funny. So I just looked up the artwork and put that in there, and I painted that with gouache, I believe. So the next day, my husband and I just walked into Broadbeach and got brunch, and then we went and picked up the kids and got sushi, and the shower was still broken, so we had to go somewhere else to have a shower, and I cooked our favourite meal, and it was just a really nice family day that day. The Sunday, I took the boys to the wildlife sanctuary after we dropped my husband off at the airport, just as a distraction, because they always get really upset when he leaves, because he only ever comes back for like 2 nights, so that was really fun. Monday was Valentine's Day, so I've got this beautiful like vintage bits and some paper and washi tape from some pen pals in America. I think Skylar Hand and Sarah Morgan, thank you so much. And then my husband got me a bunch of yellow flowers and had them sent to work, which was really sweet. So I just broke off some petals and glued them down there. Hopefully they won't fade too much, but this day was actually a really productive day and a relaxing day at the same time, so hence the lavender, and I had a massage and a foot spa, so it was just a really nice day. And this one, it's just some more notes about whether we want to sell our unit or not, so there's some personal information there, and here as well, my mum had kind of just typed out all of our expenses that we would have, so I actually just printed that, no, she printed it out and wrote some more notes on there, as my mum does. But I just didn't want to lose it, so I just taped it down there because I figured being adjacent to that page it would make sense. We do have our unit up for sale off market at the moment. My husband and I were both real estate agents in pre-children lives, so one of our friends is selling it, and then I think we're going to actually market it closer to when our tenant's lease expires at the end of the year, so we'll see. And then the plan is to buy the house that we're currently living in, so we'll update as the year goes on. We'll see what eventually happens. This day I got lots of mail. I got mail from Mog Cherie, which is one of my all-time favorite sticker shops. Antonia is in the UK, and she brought out like these little snail mail snails, and OMG, how do you get a snail to look like a cute, happy, proud puppy dog? Like, look how happy and proud that snail is to be holding the mail in its mouth. Like, ugh. Killed it, Antonia, absolutely killed it. And then there's like this little one up here. It's like just so sweet. And then I got some mail from Mel Molly Creations and also Pen Pal in India that day, so I've just kind of got like little bits and pieces that matched, you know, the vibes from the stickers. This quote was resurfacing on Facebook. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. And that really resonated with me. I do suffer from anxiety and have had depression in the past, and to be honest, I'm probably verging on depression again, just with a lot of stuff that's happening, and yeah, you don't need to know all of that, but this just really resonated with me. And it's actually a quote from a lady on, I'm not sure if it was America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent. It was one of those that Simon Cowell's on. I'm not sure. I don't watch it, but I've seen it on Facebook a few times, and she had cancer and she passed away. So because she passed away, this quote was kind of resurfacing, and it was kind of like what I needed to hear at this point. But yeah, it was really sad. But if you don't know who this chick is, go and watch her audition, Nightbird. It will make you cry 100%. And this is another example of I don't know what to do. It's the weekends I find really hard to put down things because sometimes not a lot happens, and it has been raining so much since November 2021. And if it's sunny during the week, it will almost always guarantee to rain on the weekend. So I think we just like literally did nothing. And that's why I had a quote on the Saturday, because we probably just stayed inside and played games and watched TV and played Hot Wheel cars, because can't go outside if it's raining because our backyard is a swamp. Anyways, I just googled if there was a name for the smell of rain, or why. The smell of rain is like one of my all-time favorite smells, and I wanted to know more about it, and then I found out it actually has a name, so I just wrote about that. Probably not that you really care, but it was coined by Australian scientists in 1964 to describe the earthly smell associated with rain, and it is caused by water from the rain along with certain compounds like the ozone, geoism, and plant oils. So, you know, the more you know. Learn something new every day. Monday, the most exciting thing was I worked, so I did like a little work montage there. This was Tuesday, and I was actually really productive this day, so I kind of just put little paragraphs in different coloured inks. This is the start of the weather. So I went to work early that day because the weather was supposed to get really, really bad. So we were trying to get ahead of it because our street at work does flood and we didn't want to get stuck. So I put that there, and I finally got all of the salvage Patreons that Donovan had to resend because they never turned up. And then she just kind of put like the envelopes inside a new envelope, and they had all these like return to sender, mail service suspended, unable to forward, refused. So I just thought that was actually really interesting, showing the time. So I just put those in there for fun and to fill up some space. So let's be honest, I don't always have a lot to write. Rain, 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 rain. This day I went to stay at my parents. No. This day in the evening I went to stay at my parents, and then we stayed again this day. So yeah, not much else to say. That explains all of that. We went back home and it was still raining, but it wasn't as bad as what it had been. So we just went back home and went back to work, and life just went on as per usual. And then Saturday and the Sunday we were at home, and I used this beautiful washi tape from Mick Mock Shop, and it's called Rain Rain Go Away, I believe, or Rainy Day. Just look at the beautiful foil and the collages. And then these were from Planners Anonymous, and then this was Salvage Patreon charity stamp in support of Ukraine. So I just kind of decorated this, preempting that I might have had to go to my parents' house, which I did, but I didn't go to my parents' house until Monday. I actually woke up at 4:30 from the rain and just packed my car, and we were at my parents at 5 because I wasn't sure if we were going to get flooded into our street. Anyways, I didn't write anything on the Sunday, and I was going to go back and just kind of write about our boring weekend, but on the Monday a lot of stuff happened locally. Brisbane River was flooding. There was a lot of flooding in Brisbane. They were worried it was kind of going to get around the 2011 floods, which, I mean, you can Google all of these natural disasters if you want more information, but it was a bit hairy there for a while. Pontoons and ferry wharves were washing away. Houseboats were sinking in the middle of the Brisbane River. There was swift water rescues of people trapped in the floodwaters, and there was just a lot going on. But the biggest news was Lismore, which is an hour south of me, copped it after we had it for a few days, but they copped it worse, and their river peaked at 14 meters. Now, to give you an idea of the severity of the flooding, the whole town went under, and by under I mean single-story houses, you could only see the peaks of roofs. Two-story houses, people still had a foot or more of water inside their top story. So on the Monday, I had gone to my parents really early and we were just watching the rolling coverage of Brisbane, and then that slowly turned into the unfolding natural disaster that was Lismore. And then we also had someone only like a 1.5 minute, 2 minute drive from where I live get washed away and got found in the river just down the road from me with his dog in the car, and the community was really distraught. And I had a lot to write that day, but I wanted also to write it really big because I didn't want to focus on it too much, because my anxiety was really bad this day, because I was just feeling so much emotion for all the people that had lost everything here, as well as for the news that was coming out of Ukraine. It was just a lot for me to handle. So I wanted to write it big so that I could see it and remember it, but I just kind of write it in dot point or point form about what was happening and what was happening on social media, with people trying to figure out what was happening and how we were going to get donations and stuff down there. So actually on the Wednesday I drove around our local community on the Wednesday after this day, and I was picking up donations, and then I went and dropped them off at a donation hub that was set up at a local swimming pool shop, and people in jet skis and in boats. So we would drive down to the Tweed River, which is about 15-minute drive from where I am, and to access Lismore, people were having to drive up the Tweed River, and they could pretty much just go straight into Lismore on their jet skis and their boats because it was flooded. So I had a lot of feelings this week, but we will get more into that in the March flip through, which you can see my shockingly collaged autumn shrine there, because autumn is my favorite season. But if you are still with me, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.